and welcome to JBWS's 22nd annual Verizon Hope Classic presented by Accenture. I'm Diane Williams, President and CEO of JBWS, and we are so excited that you've joined us for a wonderful day of golf at the beautiful Somerset Hills Country Club. Thank you for supporting JBWS's life-saving work. At JBWS this year, we are proudly honoring 45 years of providing safety, support, and solutions for all victims of domestic violence, and you are helping to save lives by supporting this event today. As you know, throughout the pandemic, JBWS has kept its doors open to serve our clients, and our brave staff continues to work on the front line to provide services. The challenges we experienced in 2020 have impacted our work well into 2021, and we need your support more than ever to continue to carry on our mission. Our Safe House, emergency shelter, and transitional living facility have continued to serve victims needing housing, and our community counseling programs, legal advocacy programs, children's programs, dating abuse prevention programs, the Morris Family Justice Center, and the Jersey Center for Nonviolence have all been supporting clients safely, virtually and in person. The Verizon Hope Classic is one of JBWS's premier fundraising events. For over 20 years, this highly popular event has raised funds to support all JBWS programs and services. And last year, we achieved a fundraising record for this event. And with your help today, we hope to surpass $200,000. An event like today's doesn't happen without the hard work and dedication of a great team of volunteers, donors, and JBWS staff. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Verizon Hope Classic Committee, led by co-chairs Pete O'Hagan and Jim Torney, and honorary chair Ann Probert. This team works energetically over several months planning the event, securing sponsorships and foursomes, and obtaining auction items. Along with Pete, Jim, and Ann, I'd like to express JBWS's gratitude to committee members Kelly Kurtzman, Ken Lane, Virginia McBride, Regina Moore-Lee, Cricket Newfrock, Jeff Simon, Bridget Wilcox, Wesley Wilcox, Natalie Dennis, and Helen Lafoy. I'd also like to thank Kelly Kurtzman and Verizon, our title sponsor. Throughout the year, Verizon provides financial support for JBWS programs and other events. Their employees also help to raise funds and awareness about the issue of domestic violence both locally and across the country. Thank you, Verizon. I'm also excited to recognize our presenting sponsor, Accenture, for their new and generous sponsorship this year. We're so grateful to have their support. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the Verizon Hope Classic co-chairs, Pete O'Hagan and Jim Torney.
Hello, and welcome to the 22nd annual Verizon Hope Classic presented by Accenture. I'm Pete O'Hagan. I have co-chaired this important event for JBWS with Jim Torney for 8 years, and each year we watch how it grows in popularity, and more importantly, how it raises awareness of issues around domestic violence and the work that JBWS does to provide safety, support, and solutions for abuse. We'd like to thank and recognize the great team that works so hard to bring this highly anticipated event together for you to enjoy. In addition to our esteemed committee that Diane just recognized, we'd like to thank the staff at Somerset Hills Country Club for providing one of the best golf settings in the country. Thank you to all who are participating here with us today. Whether you're playing a round of golf, participating in the clinic, joining us for lunch or dinner, bidding in the auction, or making a donation. And thank you to our sponsors, whose generous support is crucial to our success.
A resounding thank you to our sponsors. Hi, I'm Jim Torney, Pete's co-chair for the Verizon Hope Classic. Did you know that even if you can't be with us on the course today, you can still participate and make a difference? Just text VHC 2021 to the number 76278 or visit vhc2021.givesmart.com, which will take you to our GiveSmart site where you can participate in our silent auction or make a donation to help us #answer the call. Thank you for joining us today. We're now going to turn over the mic to our colleague on the committee, Kelly Kurtzman.
Thank you, Pete and Jim, and thank you all for tuning in today and for your support of the 22nd Annual Verizon Hope Classic. Hi, I'm Kelly Kurtzman from Verizon, and we're so excited to once again provide support to assist in JBWS's life-saving work. You may have heard my colleagues asking you to #answer the call. This is the hashtag we use at the Verizon Hope Classic to invite you to make a donation to support the mission of JBWS. Verizon has been a proud supporter of JBWS for over 20 years. The issue of domestic violence is important to us. We know domestic violence impacts our Verizon team members and our customers. 1 in 4 women, 1 in 3 teens, and 1 in 7 men will be victims of domestic violence at some point in their lives. And we know firsthand how domestic violence impacts the safety, health, and well-being of our Verizon team. This is why Verizon committed to doing our part to support JBWS programs and special events. It's also why we raise awareness about the issue of domestic violence throughout the year, and especially during October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. At this time, I'd like to invite you to listen to the stories of resilient survivors who represent the real importance of why events like today's are so critical to raise the funds we need to support the mission of JBWS.
Hello, I'm Candy O'Donnell Brown, one of the early domestic violence survivors who started JBWS. We used to hand out our phone numbers for hotline calls. We sheltered women in our homes. We gave speeches in church basements. And I started group counseling in my living room, although in those days we called that rap sessions. Jeanette, my mentor, opened her home to battered women and their children. At one point, she had 22 people living in her house. Her neighbors complained to the mayor about the noise, so she had to close her home in the summer of 1977. We were really alarmed about that, so we went to visit the county prosecutor to explain there was a need for shelter for battered women in Morris County. He was called out of the room. When he came back, he said, "It's one of yours." Lois Gilmore was just shot and killed by her husband where she works, and then he killed himself. Lois left 4 children. Lois's murder sparked community support. 10 days later, we toured the house. We still use it as a shelter. But it took another 1.5 years and 2 more murdered women to raise the money for renovations and staffing. We finally opened the day after Christmas in 1978, and we were full by New Year's. We'll never know which of our clients would have died without our help, but certainly some would have. We set out to change the world. Maybe in the eyes of the women and children we saved, we did change the world.
"45 years ago, no one was really talking about domestic violence. But as I reflect back, that was about the time the warning signs of abuse started in my relationship. I thought they were isolated incidents, and after 5 years of dating, we were married.
I dated my husband for 1.5 years before we were married. We enjoyed each other's company and had a lot of laughs. But soon his anger and rage became unpredictable.
My ex cut me off from my family and friends and completely controlled me. The abuse got so bad that he broke my arm, fractured my skull. It was when I was at home recuperating from my injuries that I happened to watch a popular TV talk show that aired a segment on domestic violence for the first time. I called the national hotline on the screen and eventually reached JBWS.
I read about JBWS in the newspaper and was thinking this really isn't for me because although he was extremely intimidating and scary, he was physically abusive. But when I read the article further, it talked about mental abuse and counseling services.
My stay in the JBWS Safe House was the beginning of my success in so many ways. I was asked to join a new counseling support group that JBWS was starting, and that's where I met my friend Margaret, who became my best friend for nearly 40 years.
JBWS was a godsend to me and my children. It was such a warm, friendly atmosphere. We could talk about the physical and emotional pain of being hurt by the person who was supposed to love us the most.
It's funny, my ex-husband did everything he could to keep me from having friends. Who knew that by going to JBWS for help, I would find not only my safety and my confidence, but also such a special friend.
Thanks to JBWS, today we celebrate regaining our lives back, including accomplished careers, happy second marriages, the birth of grandchildren, and simple everyday pleasures.
For so many reasons, JBWS is very near and dear to my heart, and possibly helped save my life.
Hi, I'm Jerron. I'm a 35-year-old former child resident of JBWS, the oldest of 5 amazing children, and this May I became the proud father of a beautiful daughter. When I was 8 years old, my mom woke me up in the middle of the night and told me we had to leave. I think the physical and emotional abuse my family endured was so overwhelming that my only thought was finally. I watched sunlight pour in through the skylight in the safe house playroom as I sat in front of a young woman who I now know was a volunteer. The transition to living at JBWS and what home life is supposed to be like was relatively easy because the staff at JBWS helped me to become a kid again. Our counselor introduced us to the area schools. My siblings and I were in class before we could even unpack the 30-gallon trash bags our lives were quickly jammed into. And while many people would assume that leaving your home to live in a shelter would be upsetting, for me it was relief. Because I keep many happy memories of JBWS with my siblings and new friends. The values and lessons we learned in the safe house have helped us to grow into adults who give back to the community. So today I don't identify as a victim of domestic violence. Thanks to JBWS, I'm a survivor.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm a domestic violence survivor. 18 years ago, JBWS saved my life and the life of my son. They helped me escape an abusive home and took us into their shelter when my son was about 6 months old. A thought had occurred to me. Who would care for my son if I did not survive? More than that, how could I be the mom my son deserved if I let him grow up in that environment? I wore long-sleeve shirts and turtlenecks in the summer to hide the abuse, and some mornings couldn't manage to even brush my hair. JBWS showed me the path towards a new life and a new beginning. They provided a safe place for me to heal and to find my strength, advocates who reminded me that I was not alone, counsel that helped me through a trial, and they were by my side when I got my first apartment as a single mom and became self-sufficient. JBWS gave me so much and asked for nothing in return other than my dedication to make my life what I wanted it to be. JBWS and all of you are the reason I am a survivor today. I will always be grateful.
Thank you for sharing your journeys of hope and survival. We are truly grateful for your strength and grace that allowed you to share your compelling stories with us. There are countless stories like theirs, which is why we are inviting each of you to make a difference for the thousands of clients we serve each year who need our help more than ever. Each and every donation helps. Please help us #answer the call by donating today. You can also invite your friends, family members, and colleagues to #answer the call by having them text VHC 2021 to 76278 or visit vhc2021.givesmart.com. Thank you.
We now invite you to help victims impacted by domestic violence. You can actively participate in directly supporting the life-saving services provided by JBWS. Here to tell you about a few ways your donation can make a difference are some of our JBWS staff members. Thank you for your support.
I've seen firsthand what donations can do. For example, $5,000 can provide 5 weeks of emergency shelter, food, and counseling for victims and their children.
Your donation of $2,500 can provide 25 clients with legal advocacy services.
Your donation of $1,000 can provide 15 weeks of group domestic violence counseling.
Your donation of $500 provides summer camp for 2 weeks for one child while their parent retains their job.
Your donation of $250 can provide support for 10 callers to our 24/7 helpline.
Your donation of $100 can provide dating abuse prevention presentations to 3 area high schools, reaching approximately 90 students.
Your donation of $45 in honor of JBWS's 45th anniversary this year will help us to carry on our life-saving mission.
Your donation in any amount will make a difference in helping JBWS provide safety, support, and solutions for abuse. Thank you so very much.
Thank you to our amazing staff at JBWS for participating in today's program and for highlighting how each and every donation makes such a difference. And thank you all for making this event such a huge success. I'd also like to thank and recognize all of our sponsors, golfers, donors, and everyone who contributed to today's awesome auction. Back to you, Diane.
Thank you, Kelly. And thank you to Pete, Jim, and the entire Verizon Hope Classic committee and JBWS staff. Thank you all for tuning in today and participating in the 22nd annual Verizon Hope Classic presented by Accenture. In addition to Verizon and Accenture, I'd also like to recognize and thank our sponsors and contributors. A complete list of all of our generous supporters can be found in the digital program on the event site. Please check it out. Throughout the day, please continue to browse the event site to check your bids on our fabulous auction items. There is something for everyone, including golf-related items, signed sports memorabilia, electronics, and wonderful wine. And please, don't forget to help us #answer the call by texting VHC 2021 to 76278. We invite you all to make a difference in the lives of families impacted by domestic violence and become a part of JBWS's mission to end it in our community. Your support means the world to JBWS. You are helping to save lives. Sadly, many suffer domestic violence at some point in their lives, and most people know someone who's been a victim. Maybe you do too. Through your participation in the Verizon Hope Classic, you are helping victims become survivors. Thank you. We cannot do this work without you.